Hello everyone and welcome to Werven's World and welcome to my guide to alliances in Endless Space 2. So a lot of people have been requesting a guide for like what is an alliance, what can you do with it, and should I be in one or should I not be? So let's get started. As with my videos about victory conditions, I will be taking my save game from my Let's Play actually with the pacifist Cravers and show you how the mechanics of an alliance work. So as you can see here, I am currently in an alliance with Doria AI, and you can see that this here is my alliance, the Piran Aggressive Defense Treaty. I can change this to anything. I can change this Werven's Alliance. And then Lumeris will be sad because it's only about me, but now it is only about me. So yeah, I can rename the alliance and I can leave the alliance here. I can also click on them and then I can leave alliance here. However, let's first look into how we can make an alliance, how can we research the technologies that are needed and so on. So this here is actually from some turns earlier, and as you can see here, when I go here, I'm not in an alliance yet, and when I click on them, I cannot make an alliance. So what you have to do for that is research perfect negotiations, which is here, and as you can see here, it says allows you to create or join an alliance, exchange all resources and technologies, and sign science agreements. Alright, so let's click on this. It's only 2 turns more. Alright, now we have researched the perfect negotiation. So now if I go to the Lumeris here, I can request an alliance. I can also go to the, what are they called? The Sophons, and again I can request alliance, and also to the Vodjani can request an alliance. But to the Cravers I cannot do that because at the moment they have a militarist in their political system and they're not allowed to be at peace with any empires. So that's why I cannot do any friendly actions with them. As you can see here with this perfect negotiations, it says that you also needed to join alliances. However, this might be a little bit misleading because as you can see here, the Sophons can perfectly join my alliance, even though they don't have the perfect negotiation technology. I can give it to them, but it's not needed. I assume that this is for when there is already an alliance and you can basically request to join them. However, I never had the AI making an alliance, so I haven't been able to test this. I guess in multiplayer games this might come in use. Be careful who you ally with though, because the amount of people in an alliance is half of the amount of people in the game. So as you can see, we are with 5 people and it's rounded down, so 2.5 becomes 2, so 2 people can be an alliance, and that includes us. So at the moment we can only choose 1 empire to be with us. So let's say we choose the Sophons, we can request an alliance for 450 influence, so you have to pay that, and they're happy with that. So let's do that. And now suddenly we are in an alliance. Yay! And I immediately get vision from them, so as you can see here now the map is completely explored because I see all their systems because we are in an alliance. And also we have the same, how do you call it, tendencies towards the empire. So as you can see, I am at peace with the Lumeris. I am at Cold War with the Vodjani, and I'm at war with the Cravers. If we switch position, then you can see that these guys are also at peace with the Lumeris and Cold War at the Vodjani, and also at war with the Cravers. So from now on, if I declare war on someone, the Sophons will also be at war with them, and the other way around. There are ways we can influence this, however. So basically, let's say here the Lumeris, I'm at peace with them, and I really don't want that the Sophons will declare war on them. So I have a trade agreement with the Lumeris and I'm happy with that, and I don't want to be at war with them. Then I can put in a peace veto, which means that the Sophons are not allowed to declare war on the Lumeris because it's vetoed. Let's say I am at war with the Cravers and I do not want the Sophons to make peace with them because that would mean I'm at peace as well. Then I can click on the aggression veto and now no one can make peace with the Cravers. You only have one of these vetoes, so let's say I now want to do the peace veto with the Vodjani, then it's not at the Lumeris anymore, and if I do the aggression veto, then it's not at the Cravers anymore. This is kind of a weird situation because this should mean that if we are at war we cannot make peace anymore, and if we're at peace we cannot make war anymore. Of course, the races that we veto don't have to listen to us at all. Let's say I make a peace veto on the Lumeris, then the Sophons cannot declare war on them, but the Lumeris are perfectly fine to declare war on either me or the Sophons, because of course they don't have to listen to my veto. One thing about this though is I got this from basically theorizing a little bit and also from reading on the forums a bit, because there's basically no way for me to test this. Let's say I have the peace veto on Lumeris and the Sophons never declare war on the Lumeris. Did this work? I don't know. Maybe they never wanted to declare war in the first place. The same with the war veto. Let's say we were at war and the Sophons never made peace with them. Well, I'm not sure whether that was because of my veto or just because of the Sophons. So for me, there's not really a way to test this. To properly test it, you will need to play a multiplayer game and then talk to each other about being in an alliance and then vetoing something and then trying to declare war and then seeing how it goes. But yeah, so I haven't been able to test it like that, but in case you have played multiplayer games, please let me know in the comments if this is indeed true or not. One thing I would love to know though, and if you happen to have the answer, please let me know and I'll put it in the description of this video, because unfortunately, as I always mention, YouTube has taken away the ability to annotate videos since May. What I really would love to know is, let's say we are in an alliance of 3 people and I veto for aggression, but 2 others veto for peace. I assume that then we have to stick to the peace because 2 vetoes are probably stronger than 1 veto, but I'm not entirely sure about this. So if you happen to be able to confirm this, then please let me know and I will put it into the description. One way you can see at least that the peace veto works is if you have people peace vetoed, then let's say I want to make a cold war with them. I'm not allowed to. Again? Nothing happens. So as you can also see here, these ones are at war. So let's say we're at war. Let's make a truce. We can't. If I move this away, then suddenly we can make a truce. So at least for myself, the veto works. But unfortunately, the AI doesn't use them. So I can't really check the effect of having opposing vetoes and stuff like that. Being in an alliance doesn't necessarily allow you to do a whole lot of things though, because now I am in an alliance with the Sophons and of course I can drag them into a war or I can make them have peace. For example, if we swap positions with the Sophons, we can see that they have exactly the same diplomatic stuff as we do. So let's say... Let's say I want to make peace with the Vodjani. So we make peace. Let's see if they want it. They don't want it, so let's give them all our money. And not super happy with it yet. Come on. Here we go. Now we are at peace with the Vodjani, so if we now swap positions with the Sophons, they are also at peace with it. So now let's declare war here on the Lumeris. Declare war, make an offer. And now we're at war, and as you can see, the Sophons are also at war with them. Where alliances can be very handy though is basically in your victory screen. So if you've seen my victory video, you already know a little bit about this. So I don't think you can win a score victory in an alliance, but I'm not 100% sure about that. So please, if you have the answers, leave it in the comments and I'll put it in the description. Then the Supremacy Victory means that you have to conquer all the other home systems, but of course your ally can help with this. So at the moment we have 2 out of the 5 required major factions home systems, because I have my own and my ally has her own, so then we need 3 more. Then in Conquest we need to conquer a little bit more systems, but we count our own systems together. So at the moment we own 20 out of the 37 required systems, and out of those 20 I actually only own 8. So actually the Sophons are pretty good with this, so they're a good ally to have. Then we have the Science Victory, which now means we have to research 6 of the required technologies of the Endless instead of 4. So those are these ones here, in case you haven't seen my victory video. So the Power of the Endless, here is the Genius of the Endless, and then we have here the Wealth of the Endless, and then here is the Might of the Endless right here. So we need to have 6 of these, so I can only research 4 of course, so if my ally researched 2 of those as well, then we would have 1. Then there's the Economy Victory. At the moment we need to have 810,000 dust generated. If I was on my own, I only needed 450,000. And then with Wonders, at the moment we need 4 obelisks of all space-time, which are these buildings that you can unlock here in this ring. So you need to build 4 of these in total with your alliance. These alliances can be abused a little bit, as I also mentioned in my victory conditions video. For example, at the moment I need 810,000 dust, but if I'm alone I only need 450,000 dust. So once I'm in an alliance and I reach 500,000 dust that I personally generated, then I can just leave the alliance and I will win the next turn. So in that way you can abuse this system a little bit. One way that alliances are handy though is if you look here into this, then I at the moment have right things to rule, and there's some other ways to also get benefits from alliances, but this right things to rules, for example, is plus 20% per empires in alliance on systems. So when I'm in an alliance I will actually get more production, which is actually quite nice. That was most of it regarding alliances at the moment. Maybe at some point they'll get expanded, that you get more alliance actions, or that they might be harder or easier to get into, or stuff like that. But at the moment you can just join them, or you can create one, and it can only be half of the amount of empires in the game rounded down. And then you will have the same diplomatic stance towards everyone, just as your allies have. But you can veto things, so they cannot declare war on the cravers if I put them on peaceful, for example. But they don't really seem to do that themselves, so of course if you play against human opponents that will change, but the AI doesn't really seem to make use of that. Allies will be useful for your victory conditions, and there are also some things that make use of having allies, like this pacifist right things rule that will increase your production. So with that, I hope you found this video useful, and see you next time.